Okay, good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Urbana City Council for Monday, March 18th, 2019. Will the clerk please call the roll?
City Council members Brown.
Here.
Hazen.
Here.
Hersey.
Here.
Jacobson.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Wu. Marlin.
Here. We have approval of the minutes of previous meetings, and there are actually two, one from the public hearing on Monday, March 4th, and the other from the Urbana City Council on Monday, March 4th. Is there a motion for approval?
I move to approve the motion.
I second.
Moved by Sharice, seconded by Eric. Any corrections? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Are there any additions to the agenda? Seeing none. Public input. I have two cards, one from Bishop King James Underwood. He is still concerned about the Dr. Ellis subdivision sewer issues, but chooses not to address members of the council. The second is from Eldris Melinda Carr. She expresses continued concerns about the Dr. Ellis subdivision sewer issues, equity, and historic impact, and she does not wish to speak in person. Thank you. Okay, any unfinished business? Okay, reports of the Committee of the Whole. Councilmember Jared Miller.
Last week we had the Committee of the Whole meeting, and we passed a number of ordinances and one resolution with recommendation, one without recommendation, two with recommendation for approval. The first of which is resolution number 2019-03-004R, a resolution approving the re-engagement of Baker Tilly for financial auditing services. On behalf of the committee, I move approval.
I'll second.
Moved by Jared, seconded by Dennis. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council members Brown.
Yes.
Hazen.
Yes.
Hersey.
Yes.
Jacobson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
That motion passes. Next up is ordinance 2019-03-020. Oh, sorry. I'm on a roll.
And that is an ordinance approving and causing publication of the official zoning map of the city of Urbana from Plan Case 2372-M-19. On behalf of the committee, I move approval.
I'll
A
second that
second.
one. Oh, go ahead. Sharice.
Moved by Jared, seconded by Sharice, and that will require 5 of 8 votes. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council members Brown.
Yes.
Hazen.
Yes.
Hersey.
Yes.
Jacobson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Mayor Marlin.
Yes, that motion passes.
All right, last up, we have ordinance number 2019-03-021, an ordinance amending Urbana City Code, Chapter 3, Section 3-43, which was an increase request for the number of Class A liquor licenses for Neiman Foods, Inc., doing business as the Save-A-Lot, number 477 in Urbana at 220 North Broadway Avenue. On the behalf of the committee, I move approval.
Eric?
Point of order, we moved to put this on the city council agenda, but without a
We did it
recommendation.
with no recommendation.
With no recommendation.
I'm not sure what the correct action is in that case, Charlie.
Yeah.
The correct action is to gain additional input and questions, and then to make a motion
Okay.
for discussion.
So we do have representatives from the applicants here. I just also want to give us a summary once again, because this is an unusual case. Just to remind everyone, Neiman Foods, doing business as Save-A-Lot at 220 North Broadway, is requesting a change from a Class C liquor license, which they currently hold, which allows for the sale of packaged liquor. They want to change to a Class A license, which is the sale of packaged liquor or the ability to pour or serve alcohol for consumption on the premises. They intend to apply to the state of Illinois for a video gaming license. They need the Class A license in order to do that. If approved for the video gaming license by the state, they will then come back to the city for approval of our video gaming G1 license. This would allow them to place up to 5 video gaming terminals in the store. As a reminder, the location at 220 North Broadway has 2 separate entrances. I see some photos at your desk here that show the different entrances. One is for the grocery portion of the store, the other is for the liquor store. They have 1 address, 2 separate entrances. They plan to place the gaming terminals in the liquor store. Packaged liquor is sold only from the liquor section of the store. The council is being asked tonight to approve the change from a Class C to the Class A license. You'll later have the option of approving or not approving a license for video gaming. By way of information, City of Champaign permits the sale of beer or wine for consumption on the premises of a grocery store or specialty food and liquor shop, but video gaming is not allowed in either. You asked last week about where we are in terms of how many we have in the city. There's currently 22 locations in the city of Urbana which contain video gaming terminals. 9 of those locations are standalone premises, or the video gaming parlors, where they have 5 terminals in each. 13 of the locations are bars, restaurants, or veterans clubs like the American Legion. You also asked about the nearest locations to this site. There are several of the video gaming parlors and premises with video gaming stores in, or video gaming terminals in the 5 Points area, a few blocks away. So I think it would be helpful if the representatives from the applicant came up and if council had any questions. And could you introduce yourselves and please state who you represent?
My name is Grant Jones. I'm with Midwest Electronics Gaming, and I'm working with Neiman's.
Mike Lawson, store manager for the Save a Lot.
Okay. So Midwest Gaming owns the terminals that will be placed in the store?
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct?
And also, thanks for letting us talk. And last week, we had said that there was 2 addresses. We were under that impression. That is wrong. It's 1 address, but we are fully committed to separating the addresses and doing the 2 separate addresses. We have no problem with that. So just wanted to clarify that.
Any questions? Eric?
Yeah, I have a question actually to direct to mayor or staff. How reversible would be an action that we took tonight if we decided it was a bad idea? That is the pour license, is that for a definite term? And would the gaming license be for a definite term? Or are those indefinite unless there's some serious issues that would cause those to be revoked?
All licenses are for no more than 1 year. If they're issued in a partial year, they expire when all licenses expired. Because it's a license, it is once the license expires, it is no longer a vested right, subject to divestiture. There are no rights, property rights in the continuation of any license, including the liquor license, because they expire at the end of the year. If you, or the local liquor commissioner, our mayor, choose not to reissue the license, she would be free to do so when they come around for renewal. Likewise, the same would apply for what would in effect in this case would be a G1 license, which is essentially a companion license with a restaurant, or a Class A pour license for typically bars, clubs.
Did you have another follow-up?
Oh.
You looked like you might.
I will, but I'll defer for now.
Okay, Sharice.
Does everyone who has one of these licenses have to come to through the city council to get it approved every year or every expiration, or?
No, once the initial application comes to council, and it's actually not an approval, there's no cap on the number of licenses, so each application comes to council, and your vote is actually to whether or not to increase the number of video gaming license or liquor licenses in the city. But once they're approved, then the renewals are done at the executive level, unless there's a problem.
Okay, so once they've been approved, then when it comes time for them to be renewed, they just go to you?
Mhm.
Okay, unless you say, you know what, we need to discuss this, or there's...
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Jared?
I think maybe what Eric was getting at was if we issue this A license, are they in for it if we changed our minds when the G came up for it again? They're not subject to be able to get their money back if we decide to not allow them to be issued the G, because the only reason they're going for the A is to get the G. Is that what you were
Yeah. So let me,
prepositioning, Eric?
yeah, so let me say, I've come into this meeting without my mind made up. And so let me just say, on the one hand this, on the other hand that. I think gaming in principle is problematic. I mean, I know, I've tried, I've actually never, ever once been on one of these machines. But I've been trying to do my homework by talking to people who have. And so I know, I understand that you can win or lose as much as several $100s at a shot, easily. Not in one pull, but in an evening you get into it. And of course, people are going to lose more than they're going to win. There's a certain margin for the house. So, you know, the whole thing, I'm troubled by somebody kind of possibly losing the rent money in an evening. Now, but, I mean, that was something we faced when we were doing deciding to allow the machines in the first place. And one of the compelling things to me, and this is what we've heard here, was that we have people who are working in businesses with small profit margins. Grocery is a small profit margin. Packaged liquor is probably a little bit more. Restaurants are a small profit margin. And it can make the difference between somebody having their bar, their club, their restaurant here or in Champaign. So that was so to me, that was a very compelling argument. And in fact, I got a lot more feedback from my ward saying they didn't like these machines at all. But so it was one case where I actually went against, I voted in favor of having them. I went against most of what I heard from my ward. So I have these reservations. On the other hand, because we have given these, we have these combination liquor serving and machine licenses in many establishments, why should these folks be able to have it and you not, because your case is equally compelling? On the other hand, this would actually make us astonishingly with a looser regulation than Champaign, which is a funny kind of inversion, because Champaign, you couldn't do this combination. So those are all the things that I'm weighing. On the one hand this, and on the other hand that. And so I'd like to now pull back and just listen to other people's thoughts before we make a final decision.
One bit of clarification, the state of Illinois requires a pour license in order to get a video gaming
Oh, yes.
license.
In
Yes.
fact, when I talk to people, just people who only have a moderate interest in government, an average interest in government, and I tell them this legal situation that the state has put us into, they're absolutely astonished. They think that's crazy. And I kind of think it's crazy too. But it's what we're dealing with. Yeah, that it's the hand we're dealt.
Dean?
I just wanted to point out that you have 3 hands. I really, really struggled with this and have thought about it since last week. It's no secret to anybody that I don't like gambling. I've seen nothing but the negative side of it. I've worked in the gaming industry twice. I don't like it. I don't see anything good coming of it. However, you're not up here, I'm not up here for my opinion. I think you deserve the same opportunities as anybody else. It's legitimate, it's legal. I think the people that go shop here are not particularly people that have money to lose on gambling. It's kind of a challenged neighborhood. It's gotten better though. So out of the interest of just being consistent and fair with everybody, I'll have to support it. I can't give you any reason other than I just don't like gambling. So in the end, I'll support it. Thank you.
Sharice?
I'd like to know what would happen should, let's say, you get your pour license, but then you come back to get your gaming license and that gets voted against. What happens?
What would we do, or what would?
Yeah, what would you do?
We would ask to be put on the agenda the next week.
The license they're requesting allows is a pour license or continued sale of packaged liquor.
Okay, so at this point, what I'm saying, I guess, is this also. If they, let's say they get the pour license and you don't get the gaming thing, would you turn that into a party place or something, or?
No.
Or, I mean, would you open up a dance room or something like that? That's all.
I'll let him answer that.
No.
Okay.
No. The only interest we have for the pour license is to get the gaming license.
Okay. Okay.
So would you keep the pour license?
Yeah, we would keep it, because what we're going to do is we are going to apply with the state. Once we have the pour license, we will apply with the state, and then we can have our state license, but we're not allowed to do anything. Obviously, we want permission from Urbana, and so we would lobby you all and try to hopefully, get something worked out. That would.
You need more than permission, you need a license from Urbana.
Right, that's what I meant, sorry.
Dennis?
Yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a troubling thing. For me, I really have not especially really enjoyed supporting the gaming programs here in the town, but I understand that it's part of the economics for some restaurants or clubs, or for the American Legion clubs to keep their doors open. It's an extra income thing. So I kind of support it for them, and I support it for restaurants, but I don't think I'm going to want to support it for just a grocery store. I don't want to see other grocery stores opening up and having gaming parlors in them. I just don't think it's the right venue, and it doesn't seem to support a group that has maybe a true need for support, which was, I think, the whole purpose of the licensing by the state in the first place, to give these people who have these somewhat public service kind of community interests, as well as restaurants to serve their customers, or bars to stay in business. And those seem to be appropriate places, but I just don't think where you buy your canned goods and your meat is like the right place to also be asked to go gambling. I've been in Las Vegas where gambling is available at every turn of the corner, but it's not appealing to me, so I probably won't support you.
We are crossing the line into discussion, so we really need a motion to have this on the floor, and then we can continue discussing.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Dean, seconded by Eric. Okay. Bill?
Yeah, I voted against a lot of the ones that are purely gaming parlors. I feel a little different when it's already an established business. I think that it can hurt the business. I know we've had several, like Corkscrew, Black Rock Pizza, Milo's, Tin Roof, that have tried gaming maybe as a last-ditch effort, or maybe they tried to add it to make a little extra money and they ended up closing. So I don't know if they were already on their way out when they tried that, or if the gaming helped their demise. I don't know. But I think the business owners have to take that into consideration. I think if a grocery store put them in the grocery store, it would probably put a lot of people off and they would stop shopping there. In a liquor store, where they already sell lottery tickets, they probably will cut into lottery sales some, but if they don't care about that, I'm hesitant to tell them that they shouldn't be allowed to do that when similar businesses, even though it is a little different to have one in a liquor store, but similar businesses do have them. I just think that an existing business should have the right to do it, unless we have it in our ordinance that they can't. And we didn't put it in our ordinance that you can't have one in a liquor store. I suppose we could always change it, but I'm not real inclined to do that right now.
Eric?
I have a question for you guys. I understand that the liquor store, there's a wall between the liquor store and the grocery store, so you'd have to go outdoors, out one exit, back in the other. How separate or how totally intertwined are the finances? That is it just one entity that has one bottom line?
Yes.
To which both liquor and the groceries contribute?
That's correct.
Okay. So I guess the point of my question is, if that helps your bottom line, then it does help ensure, unless there's something else going on, it would help to ensure that the grocery store remains there, which I think is important to the community that be there. I mean, we would like to have a full-service grocery farther north, but at least this is farther to the north and to the west, but at least this is also a good place. I guess the other, unless additional activity around the liquor store put people off from shopping at the grocery store. I guess this is a tough one, because I'm going to vote on it without being sure that I'm right. But I will vote. I will not abstain.
Jared?
Unless anyone has any objections, I think we've all heard what everyone wants to do, and I'd like to push for a vote.
I'll second.
It's not a motion, but.
No, whatever.
So it's been moved and seconded. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmembers Brown,
Yes.
Hazen,
Yes.
Hersey,
No.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Roberts.
No.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just don't screw up.
Reports of special committees? Oh, next, reports of officers. Libby Horowitz.
Good evening, Libby Horowitz, Economic Development Coordinator. A quick report tonight, starting off with 208 West Griggs. Best of Africa Food Store recently completed an expansion of their grocery store, and they have submitted plans for a new event space as well. The new space would accommodate up to 100 people and would largely serve African cuisine. The proposed Urbana Arts development by Brinshaw will not be moving forward as they were unable to they won't be moving forward due to external funding factors. And they will be continuing to work with the City of Urbana and Champaign County Housing Authority to complete an affordable housing project at South Learman in East Urbana. Enchantment Alley will be moving into 123 West Main on March 18th. They are a self-proclaimed one-stop geek superstore with movie and card game memorabilia, as well as event center space to play. This will bring additional family-friendly activities to downtown Urbana. I want to draw attention to 3 ribbon cuttings that are upcoming. First on March 22nd. The first is the Gopher Mafia Games. I want to issue a correction. It's not at Lincoln Square, it's at 101 East University Avenue, and that'll be at 1 to 1:30. Then there'll be Rick's Bakery at 124 West Main at 2:30 to 3. And then there will be Scrubs and Cuts at 1717 Philo. That is a dog washing business, and that will be at 4 to 4:30. Also coming up, April 6th is Urbana Celebrates the Boneyard. That'll be from 12 to 4 this year. Thank you. Any questions?
Jared?
How much space is Gopher, or not Gopher, but Enchantment Alley taking up in 123?
I believe they're taking up the full space.
The full space?
I believe so.
Well, awesome. Because they have a big store over there on Neal Street, so. was
I
curious if
believe
they were-
they're relocating.
Right.
I just wanted to know, because I was going down the list of, the addresses and stuff, how many of these properties are exempt properties?
Our tax exempt properties. So the program list that shows there, as far as what incentives they got, is that, yes. So as of present, the only one on here that is receiving incentives currently is the JX Truck Center. They're not completely through their application process, but preliminarily approved for enterprise zone sales taxes.
Okay,
exemptions.
but the other thing is like I noticed, we've got Carl Cunningham. Are those exempt, properties, developments?
Those are not receiving incentives.
But they are exempt. Carl is exempt from
Okay,
property
I know
taxes.
Carl is exempt. What about Cunningham Children's Home?
Yep.
Yeah, that too. And then the other question, of course, Stone Creek is, Morning Star Free Will is. And I wasn't sure, I put a question, Illinois American Edition, what is that? I don't know what that is.
It's the water company.
Oh, okay, so of course they are too, aren't they?
They're not,
Oh,
no.
they're not? Okay. Thank you. And I just wanted to have an idea, because I noticed a lot of these are in the 3rd Ward. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Libby. Okay, under new business, we have some appointments, and it's council members moving around to different boards and commissions. I wanted to thank Eric Jacobson for his service on the Arts and Culture Commission. He's stepping down. And Jared Miller will be taking his place, and his term ends on June 30th, 2021. And Jared's moving off the library board, and Sharice Hersey will be moving on to the board, and her term ends June 30th, 2020. So the 2 appointments tonight are Sharice to the library board and Jared to the Arts and Culture Commission. And thank you all for your hard work. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that those appointments be made. Thank you.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Dennis, seconded by Jared. Any
Dean.
I'm Dean.
Do we vote on this, Charlie?
And all those in favor? Yes, you may vote.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right. With no further business, I would like to also announce that this week's meeting of the Plan Commission has been canceled. So there is no Plan Commission this week. All those, let's see, with no further business before this body, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All right.